This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what do you know? The Houston Astros remember how to win a baseball game. They remember how to score runs tonight. They remember how to hold on late, even if it was a little bit more stressful than you might like at the end of the baseball game against the Washington Nationals. And what matters is that the 5-game losing streak comes to an end tonight for the Astros, and they needed that in the absolute worst way. And they need a series win tomorrow in the worst way. And they have a chance tonight, it appears, as we start this show live, to add to their division lead, because we start this show at about 10:17 on Tuesday. The Athletics are beating the Mariners 4-1, and the Rangers are losing to the Angels 3-2. So hopefully those scores stay the same. The Astros currently with a 3.5-game lead in the West, get it back to 4, and all will start to feel a little bit more right in the world. We got a lot to get into tonight. Thank you for joining us here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Appreciate you guys, as always, stopping by, saying hello. I am your host, Michael Connor. Thank you again. Make sure that you get this podcast, wherever you get your podcast, I should say, audio side of it. Go and search for Locked On Astros. All right, what is it that you're walking away from this one talking about more than anything else?
This is what you'll be talking about.
How about this? It's nice of the Astros to get clutch in some spots. And it's nice that some bats that you need to do this more often did some things tonight. And I'm looking at you, Yainer Diaz, and I'm looking at you, Christian Walker. Both of those guys doing a little bit of something tonight for the Astros to help them get the victory. Walker drives in 2. Yainer has a big night, of course, at the plate as well, driving in 1, but having 3 hits in the baseball game. Contributions up and down the lineup tonight. I think that's the biggest thing that you're walking away with from this one. The Astros have had a lot of struggle of late trying to find contributions really anywhere. But to string it together to where you get a run batted in from Trammell, you get a run batted in from Altuve, you get the 2 from Walker, like I mentioned. Cam Smith, of course, gets the scoring going in the first with the RBI double. Cooper Hummel comes and gets a clutch hit, which, thank goodness for that, because that guy's a rough watch sometimes. Yainer, like I mentioned, Dubon didn't drive anything in, but he had 3 hits. You got a hit out of every single starter tonight outside of Jacob Melton. So there is that. That is nice. Or I'm sorry. I gave Trammell, since he had a run by it, he did not have a hit as well. But you get the gist of it. The Astros had an offense tonight that looks functional. Now, look, are they playing a bad team? Yes. Nationals are not good. They're 44-63. The Astros improved to 61-47. But you can't knock anybody for doing anything with what's in front of them. And that's what's in front of the Astros tonight, was playing the Washington Nationals. And they had to go out there and get those runs scored. That's exactly what they did. And try to stop the bleeding here, because the deadline is a couple of days away. And if you can just tread some water and hopefully get some pieces to help you, and that includes getting back Jeremy Pena this week, it sounds like, probably I would guess Friday there at Fenway Park. Maybe, just maybe, they can survive this period and get back on the right track and go ahead and start moving towards the American League West title once again in 2025. That's the ideal scenario, of course. I don't want anything other than that. I will say this for me tonight. It is nice to come on here and have nice things to talk about. It has been a minute since we have been able to do a show where the Astros played well and did all the little things. So that is a positive here. We're also going to get into here in a minute, just because I wanted to give a couple of minutes on it. If you guys, since again, the trade deadline's coming, and I enjoy the trade deadline. It's probably my favorite thing in sports when it comes to deadlines in general. But I do love baseball's deadline. There's a new rumor out there for the Astros with Dylan Cease involved. Very interesting rumor. We'll find out if it's real or not, and if the Astros are going into that range of things in terms of how they're operating. The other thing tonight, just in general, can this be the thing that sparks this baseball team to start playing better baseball again? these kind of little games, and I actually was reading Chandler Rome this morning, his article about, or I should say, I think he took questions from fans or whatever, and talking about somebody asked something about the recent skid and all that, and I think people do lose that. And look, I've been lucky enough; I got to be in it around it enough. They don't live it day to day like you and I do, and he mentioned that in that article today. Like, yeah, where they were going through a 5-game losing streak, their world is not crashing and burning because you can't live like that. You can't, like, you and I can live in a world where we react to it like it's a football game, or it's one game and oh my goodness, the ramifications of it. There's 162 of these things. Yeah, they have more meaning at this point of the year. It is more meaningful to have a long losing streak at this point of the year. It's not a good thing for your baseball team at all. But this team was never sitting there and, having a freak out moment about what was going on over the last 5 games. They know that these kind of things are going to happen. And it was inevitable, like we've talked about quite a bit, that you're going to have one of these kind of moments when you're playing with the amount of injured players that you have. Just got to ride through it. The rough waters eventually will smooth. Maybe tonight is the start of it. Just for the mindset, seeing some results, because that was one of the things. I mean, like, they were getting no results at the plate. They were struggling to get hits. And it was ugly for the Astros so many nights in recent games. And tonight was not that. Good at bats, good results, seeing the ball fall, seeing the ball go over the fence. I'm going to be optimistic about it tonight, that it can be the spark. Will it? I don't know. Hopeful. Again, hopeful that is the case for the Astros. First step in the right direction. That's what matters. You take the baby steps, right? When you're playing well, when you're not playing well, and tonight they played well. Sure, they had some guys behind them. You'd like to get your bullpen, to be completely clean. Got to give the credit to, like, Alexander. He battled through it, 4 2/3, gave up the 2. Bennett Sousa doesn't give anything up. I'm telling you, I'm a little bit worried about the way Brian King's been performing of late. Brian Abreu, that was sketchy. And then, there's the guy at the end of the game, Mr. Josh Hader, who is just absolutely electric. I get blown away by it every time you look at it. When they put his stats up on the screen when he comes into a game. Guy's pitched like 40-something innings, 47 now, 48 innings on the year, and he's got over 70 strikeouts. I mean, he's been just a monster, an absolute monster for the Astros this season. For a contract that did not look all so great last year, now it's suddenly like, oh, thank goodness they got this guy. Yeah, I see why he's expensive. When he is on his game, man, he can get anybody out. There's another guy out there that can, when he's on his game, a former teammate. Is he a former teammate? I need to check. I don't remember when Dylan Cease went to the Padres. I don't think they're former teammates. They both played for the Padres at some point. But the latest rumors are out there on the Astros and the deadline, and it comes with Dylan's. No, they were not teammates because Dylan Cease last year was with last year was his first year with the San Diego Padres. Apparently, the Astros are in on Dylan Cease. Let's talk about that here in a moment on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Before we do that, I want to remind you guys about a new voice here on the show for us. It is Gameday Hue. Very excited to have them along for the journey. This episode is brought to you by Gameday Hue. I'm looking forward to doing this show and having the hat on my head very soon from Gameday Hue. And it's going to look great. I think it's going to look great. Of course it's going to look great. It's from Gameday Hue. If you don't know what Gameday Hue is, head over to that website that you see right there on the screen below me. Or if you're listening, of course, head over to GamedayHue.com. Gameday Hue makes clean, no-logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. Hey, not just those hats like I mentioned, golf gloves as well. If you're a golfer like me, well, get yourself a sweet golf glove and whatever team colorway that you're looking for. I went with the Texans colors for mine, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes out. And giving it a shot out there on the golf course here very soon. Right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GamedayHue.com. That's GamedayHue.com. Code even stacks on bundle deals, so now's the time to load up. Let your colors talk because colors speak louder than words. That's GamedayHue.com for 15% off. Astros Postcast here tonight after they take down the Washington Nationals. Thank you for joining us if you're watching live. If you're listening later on, we appreciate that as well. The Astros picking up a needed win, ending the losing streak at 5 games. And here they are looking to get back into get the lead in the American League West higher than it has been. All right, so Dylan Cease is the rumored target of the Houston Astros, as according to Chandler Rome of The Athletic. And it's an interesting target. Now, there's no denying that the Astros need pitching help. If you could have a top of your rotation of Framber Valdez and Hunter Brown and Dylan Cease, and you can get Christian Javier back, like we talked about it all season long. We know that the Astros formula, when they are at their best for winning baseball games, is going to be out pitching and straight up elite run prevention every single night. That's their calling card. Do they need to do things to help their offense? Absolutely. Do I think that they'll do something to get at least one bat? I do. If they don't, it would be a failure to their deadline to not get at least one bat. But this Dylan Cease thing kind of coming out of left field. Now, I think when we initially see these rumors, we immediately go to, oh my God, they're going to get Dylan Cease. They could. But the Padres aren't like massively incentivized to move him. Now, there is the fact that he's going to be a free agent after the season. He's going to, I don't know how much money he's going to get, but he's going to get at least $15 million a year, probably close to $20 million a year. And you go look at his numbers this season, you look at his ERA, and you go, well, why? Well, he's got an expected ERA that's a lot lower. He's 3-10 on the year, which is crazy with a 4.79, but 153 strikeouts and 118 in the third innings this year. And his walk rate, which is usually pretty high, is fair, I would say, this season. It's doable, but a strikeout per 9 leads baseball at 11.6. All of the majors, 11.6 strikeout per 9. It apparently is going to take to get him a upgrade to the Padres' everyday major league roster. Now, do the Astros have something the Padres are looking for? I know that they've been looking for a little bit of outfield help. Chas McCormick won't do. If they want Chas McCormick, sure, here you go. That's not going to get the deal done. I'd imagine maybe a Jacob Melton, something like that. It'll be interesting to see what kind of return package it is. Last year, the Astros did the same kind of thing with a rental with Yusei Kikuchi, and they gave up, obviously, Will Wagner and I'm blanking on the other guys they gave up. Will Wagner, because his dad just went in the Hall of Fame. The pitcher Jake Bloss and Joey Loperfido. We all agreed at the time that was a very hefty price to give up for a couple of months of rental. And this is a couple of months of rental. Again, I'd imagine it's going to be the same kind of price tag maybe overall if you really want to get him. Again, for a team in San Diego that is, you look at the standings over there in the West, they're 4.5 back in the NL West, and they are in the wild card spot, the third and final wild card spot right now in the National League. So it's not a picture perfect scenario between these two matching up. If the Astros are giving up something off of a major league roster to help their major league roster now, then maybe it has a possibility. But look, if they want to get Dylan Cease, sign me up. I don't have a problem with it. Beef up the rotation as much as you can. You might have some of these other arms that go to the bullpen. Fine. Good with me. Just do something, please. Deadline's creeping closer. It'll be here on Friday. We'll get, of course, all the reaction to that in the post-game Friday night as well. I'm looking forward to being able to do that. You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday night and enjoy the win after the Astros beat the Nationals. We'll talk to you the next time on the Locked On Astros Postcast.